What's going on, money lovers? Welcome back. NIO stock has been on quite a run. I think that this is a wave you just need to ride. Electric vehicles or EVs are clearly the future. They're here to stay. They're not going anywhere. And especially after this company released their press release on Friday, accompanied with the many analyst upgrades they've just received, I wouldn't be surprised to see this stock continue to fly this coming week. I'm going to explain why right now. Now, I personally would rather wait for a pullback to buy more, but if I had missed out on Tesla, this would be my next best thing to invest in. That being said, I may buy some more shares this week. It's a bit more of a speculative play, but I'm not day trading. I'm not going to try and swing trade it. I would be holding these shares for the long term. As you can see here on the NIO website, the website is very well done. The car looks great, and while the visuals aren't everything, they are an important part of the recipe for success. So if we take a quick look at NIO's Q2 earnings report, and you should take everything here with a grain of salt. I'll explain why in a minute. So this is from Q2. They report Q3 earnings later in November. So they delivered 4,700 vehicles in September, 133% increase year over year. They delivered 26,000 total vehicles in 2020, an increase of 113%. So when you compare this to other electric vehicle companies, at least this company actually has cars and they are delivering them in substantial quantities. Now, as far as their financials go, so we see, as I said, they delivered 10,000 cars in their second quarter for their best quarter yet, and substantial increase year over year. They did almost $500 million in sales. Their vehicle margin was nearly 10%. Total revenue of a little over $500 million for the second quarter of 2020. Now, this company is still losing a lot of money. Their loss from operations was $164 million. Now, remember though, it did take Tesla almost 20 years to become profitable. I mean, that's a company that's been around for about 20 years, and they just now have been able to consistently become profitable from quarter to quarter. Nonetheless, as you can see here, they have beat earnings expectations, but they're still losing money, and they are losing a staggering amount of money. It's definitely something worth taking note. They did $5 billion in revenue, but still lost $23 billion, and in 2020, over almost $8 billion in revenue, but they lost over $11 billion. Now, when you're investing in Chinese companies, I need to include a word of caution. Chinese companies are not subject to the same regulations and SEC laws that companies in the US are. There have been many instances of companies cooking the books. A recent example would be Lupton Coffee, if you're familiar with that story. They're not subject to the same accounting laws and regulations, so you have to be very careful when looking at the financials of Chinese companies. That being said, the Chinese government heavily supports NIO, and they don't want them to fail. They want them to succeed. They realize the importance of electric vehicles, but at the same time, all it takes is one wrong step from management. Just look at what happened to Jack Ma with Alibaba and the Ant Group IPO last week. Jack Ma spoke out of turn, he got on the bad side of the Chinese regulators, and all of a sudden the Ant Group IPO went kaput. So I want to talk about some recent news with NIO. We're going to talk about their battery launch event. God, this company sure sounds a lot like Tesla sometimes. We'll briefly look at their website and some financials, some other key takeaways, and whether I think NIO is a buy. So the new range of their vehicles is 615 kilometers, or about 380 miles. When you compare that to the range of the Tesla cars, you see from their website the Model 3 gets a little over 350 miles of range, the Model Y around 326, and their best performing model, the Model S, is now up to 402 miles of range. The new range of NIO vehicles is 615 kilometers, or about 380 miles, allegedly. So I'd rather own Tesla, but I can understand why people are hesitant when they see how much Tesla has run up, its price to earnings ratio, and the current price of its stock. I'm confident in both Tesla and NIO in the long term, and NIO would definitely be my second pick in the EV space as things stand right now. If we look at the press release from NIO's battery release day, you see that they've allegedly achieved a 100 kilowatt battery with a battery that has 37% higher energy density, which enables this range of 615 kilometers. With some other upgrades to their management process, they're able to streamline manufacturing by 40% and improve space utilization by almost 20%. Now, these upgrades to me sound almost exactly the same but definitely strikingly similar to that of Tesla and what they released during their battery day back in September, which I made a video on and I'll link in the description below. So as you can see, in addition to the 615-kilometer range, they were able to streamline manufacturing by 40%, increase space utilization by nearly 20%, in addition to other upgrades to the battery's performance and lifespan. Another interesting aspect of NIO's business model is that they have a battery subscription service. Now, this is a very interesting and unique business model, and I think it has the potential to do very well, as it will allow NIO to collect these recurring streams of revenue, which will give them more consistency and another source of income in addition to selling their cars and other services. As you can see here on their site, they outline some of the key benefits. So you actually save money on the original car price by opting for the subscription battery. You'll be able to subscribe and get longer range with one swap. Batteries are chargeable, swappable, and upgradable. And you'll also have better resale value because the car will be independent of a battery, so there won't be battery degradation costs that are put on to the owner that might affect resale value. All in all, I think that these are obviously all positives, and I'm interested to see how it plays out. A quick clip from NIO's site showing how the battery swap would work. All right, pulling up to this creepy garage somewhere, I guess. All right. All right, this is pretty cool, I can't lie. Whoa! Is this NIO or is this Los Santos Customs? There's some very dramatic music we got going on here. It's very Christopher Nolan, Michael Bay-esque. I don't know if this is the Batcave or the Decepticons are about to attack. Is this thing transformed? Because I'll buy one right now. All right, all jokes aside, that was pretty cool. And if you could get past the dramatic music, they could be onto something. I'm definitely interested to see how this plays out and the feasibility of it, because it could be a game changer. Tesla had tried to do a battery swapping model a few years back, but they ended up scratching it due to logistics issues. I'm very interested to see if NIO is able to pull it off, because this would be huge for the electric vehicle industry. Everyone right now is spending so much money on R&D to create better batteries that get you further range. If someone is able to succeed with the battery swapping model, it would solve a lot of these issues and companies could focus their efforts elsewhere. Battery swapping model could potentially alleviate the issues with range with electric vehicles, as it could be as quick as it is to fill up your car at a gas station. If you've ever been on the Tesla and NIO websites, you probably noticed some striking similarities. The way the sites are laid out, from the cover page to the car models to the Powerwall options, they are strikingly similar. So whether you think NIO is just a copycat is up to you to decide, but they are very similar. I suppose you could also make the argument Tesla has clearly found the recipe for success, so why not do the same thing if it's clearly working? Another interesting metric to look at is how much of a company's total shares is held by institutional owners. As you can see, for Tesla, nearly 50% of the shares are owned by institutional investors. They clearly have a big stake. Here you can see the top 10 owners. You've got Capital Research, Vanguard, BlackRock, and a few other notable names. Top 10 mutual funds that own it. And when we compare that to the ownership of NIO, you see that NIO is only owned by 39% of institutional investors, which is among the lowest in the motor vehicles industry. So this is something interesting. You could make the argument that if NIO continues to see success, the institutional owners will continue to buy in, thus driving the stock price up even more. So am I buying? I definitely have NIO on my watch list, and I'm going to see what happens this week. I may buy some shares. You really can't go wrong with sustainability. With the new administration, if all that goes through, they're obviously going to push for a sustainability agenda, and that's already been the trend and where the world is headed. So, as I said, be careful with NIO because it is a Chinese company, but it clearly is supported by the Chinese government, and the future is electric vehicles. I may add to my NIO shares and make it a small position in my portfolio. Definitely a company that I want to keep tabs on, see how things develop from quarter to quarter. As of now, they definitely are trending in the right direction. But as you can see from this article, a lot of their success is clearly dependent on the government. They received a $1 billion bailout. This is definitely something to keep tabs on and see how it develops. So as far as the stock price prediction, this company, if you compare it to where Tesla was 10 years ago, Tesla pre-split price was trading around $30 or $40 a share. And NIO is clearly trending in the right direction. I think it's the number 2 electric vehicle play right now, and if it ends up anything like Tesla, I think in 5-10 years, you would be very happy having bought it here. That being said, I stated there are a lot of risks here. It's a Chinese company. Who knows? Anything could happen. Nothing is guaranteed in the stock market, but it's definitely trending in the right direction, and it's worth keeping tabs on. And if it continues in this direction, it'll do very well for investors. That's all for today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you buying NIO? This is Vinny from the Investment Club, and I'll see you next time.